Today I'm going to show you a crime thriller film from 2017, titled Papi. Be ready for spoilers ahead. The movie starts in 1931, with a man named Papi successfully breaking into a safe and taking all the valuables. After escaping the scene, Papi casually strolls through the bustling streets of Paris. He enters the Moulin Rouge cabaret, meeting the head of the French mafia to deliver the stolen jewels. The client smirks but cautions Papin against betrayal, warning of dire consequences. Later, Papi encounters his beloved Net, a cabaret dancer, presenting her with a necklace from the heist and the concealed diamonds. The couple revels in each other's company, spending an alcohol-fueled night together. However, the following morning, police officers raid their apartment, arresting Papi for the murder of a Moulin Rouge pimp. Recalling witnessing the victims being beaten by mafia thugs the day before, he realizes he's been set up. Thrown into prison, Papi encounters his cellmate, Jules, who grins upon overhearing Papi's conversation with Net. Jules suggests that a successful escape would necessitate a substantial sum of money. Later, during a mandatory medical examination for all inmates, they learn they're destined for the notorious Devil's Island penal colony in French Guiana, a place infamous for its impenetrability, where no escapee has survived. On the ship en route to the island, Papi befriends Dega, a skilled counterfeiter. Learning of Dega's coveted stash of money, Papi proposes a partnership, offering protection. However, Dega declines, relying on his own strength and guile, dismisses Papin's offer. That night, two inmates viciously attack Dega's sleeping cellmate, slashing his abdomen in search of hidden money. Horrified by the brutality, Dega realizes he could be their next target. Seeking safety, he proposes a pact to Papi. Keep him alive until they reach the island, and in return, Dega promises to aid any escape plan Papi devises. Despite agreeing to protect him, Papi insists on carrying out the escape alone. As darkness falls, a towering inmate approaches Dega with a knife. Reacting swiftly, Papi lunges at the assailant. A scuffle ensues as Papi tries to subdue the aggressor with a sheet, but the brute's overpowering strength throws him aside. Enraged, the attacker redirects his fury toward other inmates, landing powerful blows. Guards intervene by releasing gas into the cell, which disorients everyone inside. Upon the ship's arrival at the island, Jules, who secretly concealed a knife during the nighttime chaos, self-inflicts a deep wound on his leg to gain admittance to the infirmary. The remaining inmates, including Papi, are led to the colony where they meet the formidable chief warden. In his address to the newcomers, he sternly warns that escape attempts are futile. Even if they manage to dodge the guards' bullets, the treacherous sea surrounding the island teems with hungry sharks that are ready to devour any escapees. The warden continues to outline the consequences: 2 years in solitary confinement for the first attempt, escalating to 5 years for the second, then followed by a life sentence on Devil's Island. Within the prison walls, Papi sets out to forge strategic alliances, employing his rough demeanor. He approaches a prison guard, seeking assistance in securing a position in the infirmary. Papi and the more refined Dega strike similar deals with fellow inmates for hospital positions, with $1,000. Reluctantly agreeing, they negotiate for additional goods, including a block of cigarettes and a notebook for Dega. The next morning, gunfire erupts as guards pursue an escapee, leaving Papi hopeful that Jules might have successfully fled from the infirmary, potentially paving the way for his own freedom. As agreed, the guard honors the deal, assigning both Papi and Dega to work in the hospital. However, their fortune takes a turn when the deputy warden recognizes Dega. He blames him for his son-in-law's arrest for counterfeit bonds. He redirects them to the arduous zero route for intensive labor in the mines. During a moment of strain, Dega inadvertently reveals a hidden stash of money within his body, alerting Papi, who swiftly retrieves the concealed cash before the guards intervene. Grateful for Papin's help, Dega expresses remorse for his prior arrogance. During a lunch break, Papi encounters Cellier, an inmate who shares stories of their pre-criminal lives. Cellier proposes an alliance, claiming he can procure a boat for their potential escape during the return journey to the prison. In an attempt to secure a means of escape, Papi approaches a local pimp brought to the island by the guards, offering $2,000 for a boat. However, the pimp demands $5,000 and plans to remain on the island for 3 more weeks. Meanwhile, during a shower, Dega faces another attack from fellow inmates. Papi quickly intervenes, biting off an assailant's ear and receiving severe blows as well. Frustrated by having to repeatedly risk his life for Dega's vulnerability, Papi yells at him, expressing his annoyance. Dega, disturbed by the situation, asks Papi to take him on the boat, realizing his slim chances of survival until his appeal. However, Papi refuses, believing Dega's delicate nature wouldn't endure the harsh sea conditions and fearing he might become a hindrance in an escape attempt. The following day, all inmates witness a public execution of Jules, the failed escapee. Ordered by the warden, Papi and Dega are tasked with carrying Jules' body into the jungle. Blood from Jules' severed neck stains Dega's clothes. Overwhelmed by emotions, Dega disobeys the guard's orders, leading to the guard ruthlessly whipping him. Papi attacks the guard and flees into the jungle, initiating his escape. Guards chase him while Louis Dega, left defenseless, is returned to prison. Under the cover of darkness, Papi seeks refuge at the pimp's location by the river, pleading for help to leave the island and promising a reward in Paris. However, the pimp dismisses Papan's offer, triggering laughter. The pimp reveals that the warden would pay handsomely for Papi's capture. Subsequently, Papi is brought before the chief warden, who announces his punishment, a transfer to another island for 2 years of solitary confinement, designed to break the spirit of the escapee and crush any remaining hope of escape. Papi faces the grim reality of his fate but strives to maintain his mental composure. After enduring days of hunger, he's surprised by an astonishingly large coconut portion, which he eagerly consumes. Louis Dega promises continued assistance with food, boosting Papi's morale. Fueled by this unexpected support, Papi engages in intense workouts to maintain his physical shape despite the harsh conditions. During an inspection of Papi's ration bucket, the guard discovers an extra portion, reporting the incident to the authorities. Confronted by the warden about the coconut, Papi remains silent, refusing to betray his friend. As punishment, his ration is halved. Torturous months pass, transforming Papi into a gaunt figure, his spirit seemingly shattered. The warden again attempts to coerce information, offering Papi a generous ration in exchange for revealing the identity of the Louis Dega. Dispassionately, Papi shoves a spoonful of soup into the warden's mouth, resulting in intensified punishment, complete darkness until the end of his confinement. In later months, guards discover Papi unconscious and transfer him to the infirmary. Louis Dega had managed to gain the warden's trust and control over his finances. Learning of Papi's condition, Dega rushes to visit him in the hospital. Seeing Papi in a dire state, emaciated and lifeless, Dega expresses deep regret and apologizes for the suffering Papi endured due to him. In a startling revelation, Dega admits that Papi was correct about his wife, who betrayed him by marrying a lawyer. Papi, in response, smirks and makes a cutting remark about Dega's beloved. However, Louis Dega's expression shifts from sadness to happiness, realizing that Papi's supposed madness was just an act. He wonders why Papi didn't betray him to avoid suffering, to which Papi admits that while he pondered it on difficult days, he knew Dega wouldn't withstand the consequences of such a betrayal. Papi reveals his intention to make significant life changes if they escape from the island. Dega informs Papi about an upcoming visit from local politicians to the prison, scheduled for the next Sunday. Suddenly, Papi pushes Dega away, feigning agitation and instructing him to leave. Dega plays along, calming Papi down and ensuring the doctor's intervention. Papi discreetly conceals tranquilizer pills during the night. Sneaking out of the infirmary, he witnesses a guard harassing a fellow inmate and approaches him with an offer. Papi shares the escape plan with a fellow inmate named Maturette and promises a spot on the boat in exchange for distracting the guard during the planned escape on Sunday evening. Simultaneously, he involves Cellier in the scheme because he can get them a boat. Cellier intentionally injures himself to gain entry into the infirmary. However, Dega appears apprehensive. He expresses doubts about Cellier's trustworthiness. But Papi reassures Dega, emphasizing their shared goal of escaping confinement at the earliest. Dega hands money to Papi in exchange for a matchbox containing sedatives. He has to slip the pills to the guards during the night. Following the plan, Dega discreetly adds sedatives to a bottle of alcohol and offers it to the security guards. Papi and Cellier swiftly bypass the sleeping guards and signal Dega, who is distributing drinks to politicians in the yard. Suddenly, a downpour begins, and the outdoor lights go out. Cellier suggests Papi leave Dega behind and save himself, but Papi refuses to abandon his friend. Finally joining the trio, Dega joyfully announces that he has stolen the keys to the watchtower. They climb the tower and leap down one by one. However, Dega lands awkwardly, severely injuring his leg. Papi and Maturette carry him as they venture into the deep jungle. They encounter Cellier's accomplices, and Papi trades money for the boat. At dawn, they set sail from the soon-to-be-encountered grim reality. Their makeshift boat is full of holes, requiring constant bailing of water. Cellier suggests sacrificing ballast, hinting at Dega's wounded condition, but Papi disregards the idea, insisting no one is supposed to die. After enduring hours under the scorching sun and a looming storm, Cellier wields a knife and demands they dispose of Dega. Maturette tries to wrestle the weapon away but is thrown overboard. Papi, weakened, attempts to intervene but fails against Cellier's strength. As Cellier chokes Papi, Dega grabs the knife and fatally injures Cellier. Despite Cellier's demise, Dega continues striking until Cellier's body stops moving. Papi disposes of the body before helping Maturette back into the boat. However, their boat is soon destroyed by a treacherous storm. Papi awakens in a bungalow on an ocean shore. Rushing outside, he encounters a nun who reveals they've washed ashore at a monastery on a Colombian island. The nun implies she's aware of the place they're coming from. Later, Papi finds Dega and urges him to leave immediately, but Dega, still resentful over the incident with Cellier, refuses to go with him. Papi attempts to find a way off the island but encounters Colombian officers looking for them. Returning to the shore and attempting to alert Dega and Maturette is ruthlessly shot down during the escape attempt. Papi is thrown into solitary confinement for 5 years. Upon his release, he appears feeble and worn out. The warden, meeting Papi, expresses contempt yet marvels at his incredible strength of will. The warden sends him to one of the prisons on Devil's Island, known for its impregnability due to high cliffs, serving as a natural barrier against escape. In this new prison, Papi encounters slightly insane fellow inmates, among whom he discovers his old friend Dega. Dega guides Papi, provides shelter, and allows him to rest. One night, Papi wakes up Dega and shares his new escape plan. He noticed strong currents around the island that could carry them to the mainland if they built a raft. Dega initially supports the plan, gathering coconuts for the raft, but at the last moment, he decides to stay on the island, feeling adapted to prison life and doubtful about life beyond the island. The partners bid farewell, and during a wave surge, Papi boldly jumps and survives. Dega watches from the cliff, rejoicing for his friend's successful leap. Climbing onto the raft, Papi happily drifts with the current. After many years, Papi dedicates his time to penning memoirs chronicling his harrowing experiences within the infernal confines of the prison, detailing his relentless attempts at escape. With a heart full of memories, he submits these memoirs to a French publisher, accompanying them with a heartfelt drawing of a butterfly, crafted by Dega specifically for him during his confinement. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.